Hello and welcome to Sang-Froid Tales of a Werewolf, Tome 1. I'm Sulking Sunbeam. I've already completed the game once, going through as the big guy, and got halfway through going through as the little guy and decided we'll share some of my knowledge with you guys out there. So I'm going to start again, playing as my big man, so it's a little bit easier for you guys starting out for the first time. Throughout the guide I'm going to be skipping all the tutorial videos because you'll get them yourself, and all the scene setting videos because it's just extra time that's going to clutter up other things I want to show. So yeah, let's start with a new game. So we're going to be Joseph, and yeah, he's good, he's big, he's got larger health, he's got more stamina, so you can just wail on the walls with the axe. So it's a lot easier than if you had played Jack. Come up with a cool name. I think that's a pretty good profile name. This first one is going to take you through maybe the first 5 nights. Relatively easy, still quite a lot of it's to do with the tutorial. Obviously you only get 24 nights, which for me first time was around 8 hours play, so it's quite a good game for the length of it. So let's try with night 1. When you're loading in, comes up with all these recommendations to do with the creatures you're going to be fighting. Pretty good to read up on it. It's quite handy. Like, recommended against the normal wolf is the wolf trap, hanging net and spike traps. Spike traps are really good later on in the game. We'll come to them when they get unlocked, and they're pretty easy for getting rid of the wolves straight away. Just going to skip through this video. Don't need to watch it, you can watch it yourselves if you need to get into that side of the story, but I've seen it a few times now already, so I'll just go straight into it. Obviously, first night's talking you through everything you got to do. So you got normal moving as if you're in a first person, third person type shooter. So yeah, W, A, S and D, and obviously your mouse directing where you're looking.
I'll be damned, the horses are dead. And your Wolverine looks a lot more like a wolf, Jackie boy. The pack must be close by.
You'll notice it can feel quite frustrating when you're going through the game again, because the first few nights are just teaching you. Just dispatch this wolf. Pretty easy on us, Jackie boy. Not Jack, sorry. Joseph. See, he didn't take any of my health off, even though he managed to get a little hit on me there. Let's just run to the next waypoint. Just going to skip through that video again. Like I said, I've seen them all, so I don't really need to pay much attention to them. I'd recommend watching the videos yourself when you're going through though, because that's how I started, and it's a good little talk through. We get a little thing to notice is before this wolf jumps in, ignoring the fear factor, ignoring anything the tutorial tells you, the music suddenly gets more dramatic just as he runs towards you. And as he's just about to pounce on you, that's when you should strike for an easy hit, knock him down before him. See, wolf dispatched without even landing one shot. Let's move on to the next part.
Help! Help! Please help me! Help! Help! May Saint Anne have mercy on me! For the love of God, please help me!
Okay, so we're just heading to the waypoint. I believe this is where we start firing our gun, sorry. The rifle. Again, I'd suggest watching the video. I don't myself because I've seen it before, but it's a good thing to watch if you haven't played the game already. telling me there. Obviously, red for the next, I'm not going to hit anything. Yellow is just a body shot. You always want to be aiming for the headshot, because it's obviously going to do more damage. There's one wolf dead. And there was the dramatic music again, letting me know that the wolf was coming straight in for me, and I wouldn't have had time to reload my rifle. Dramatic music again, and the wolf's down.
The good Lord has sent.
Okay, so we head into the next waypoint, where you're going to be able to get an easy shot off onto a wolf, I believe. Yep.
Fear factor.
That's a good video to watch to do with the fear factor. If you're noticing in the bottom left, the number next to my bloke is how much fear I give out, and the number next to the picture of the next inbound attack is how much fear they have of me. So just reload my rifle quickly, take one of these wolves out before I even need to get within range of my axe. See here, I'm out of range. First rifle's got a very poor range on it, so one of the first things I upgrade when we get further through the game will be the rifle. Headshot, wolf dead. I've got 2 seconds maybe to reload this before someone comes in. I'm not going to do it. But now I've still got my rifle reloaded, ready for the next encounter. It's a good thing if you find any pause within your skirmishes, just to get your rifle reloaded, because it takes a hell of a long time.
Pack management.
Pack management, that's another good video explaining what you should be doing. It's easy to tell enough. Whoever's got the thing above the head, they're coming for me next.
Yeah! Come closer, you stinking little
Use my
critter.
shout there to push them back. Now I'm going to get a headshot on the one that's attacking me next. Oh, not a headshot, missed. As you can see, this one with the 4 above, he's next, so he's going to get the next shot from my rifle. Dead. Every time you kill one of the wolves, it sends the fear factor back up of the rest of the pack, giving me more time to reload my rifle again. And that's all 3 dispatched before they could even make a jump on me.
That's my brother. I turn my back for 2 seconds and he's in hot water.
Again, I'm just skipping through that, as I've seen these videos before, I don't need to watch it. Obviously, as the box is telling me on the top right, it shows my house is taking damage. On the minimap you can see a dotted circle that's going around myself. If anything's in that area and I let out one of my shouts, they'll come running to where they last heard me.
Ah! Attack me, go, darn it!
See, all the wolves are now going to stay where they last heard me, not knowing what's going on. And there's a free headshot. You could see their fear was the same as mine, so they were always going to keep jumping in on me until I got the fear back, which I did from killing them. And there, all's dead. A little bit exhausted there, swinging my axe more than I needed to, but that's that day over. skipping through that video again, I've seen it. This is the first night I believe where we're going to get to see some werewolves. Again, loading screen, might look like it's taking time to load the game, but it's giving you some useful information. Hanging nets, spike traps, wayside crosses. All good for taking out your everyday werewolf. Here's our first look at strategy mode. It's going to talk me through it. There's no real way to skip through it that quickly, but again, I'd say watch the video to do with omens, because it's quite a good, helpful little tip. Fortunately, with this first look at the strategy, you have to place the traps where the tutorial wants you to place the traps, but still good positioning, and it's still good fun to hear a wolf yelp. There's 2 wolf traps coming down. I personally, if I was you, first time through, would watch the video of how the wolf trap works. I just know how it works already, so I should be okay without it. Next, placing some hanging nets. They're pretty good for taking out a group of wolves if you can get them to stay in one place for a long time. So later on we discover bait. That's a good way of getting them to stay under your hanging nets. I'm not really a big fan of the hanging net because you need to be near it to set it off, whereas later on you get the spikes which set themselves off. Again, I'd watch the video because it goes a little bit more into depth about what you're trying to do and what's going on, but when I get to using it, I'll talk you through how I'm using it. Start night button down here. Let's start a night. Okay, so my first lot of wolves are going to be coming down this path here. So I'm going to get ready to shoot the first one that makes it through both wolf traps, detecting them over here, which is taking them away from the house. There's one dead wolf trap. Detected me but didn't run over the wolf trap. Let's get one to run over it. There we go. Now 2 left. Dramatic music, knew he was going to pounce, swung in time. Head to the waypoint so we can get ready for the next night. Obviously there won't be this big a pause during waves when you're not doing the first tutorial nights, but it's still good. That video there was going to tell me about luring the wolves in, like I've already explained to do with my shout. So they're in my big red area. I've shouted underneath the net, so that's where they'll last heard me, that's where they'll run. I was standing too far away from my net that time, but I still managed to get them, because they stay there for quite some time. I think it's about 5 seconds before they decide nothing's there. Very good tip there, reloading your rifle between waves. Next we're going to lure this werewolf in. Unfortunately the hanging net's not likely to kill the werewolf in the first rocks, but it'll do enough damage to make it easy enough for when he comes at me. And I can just casually sit here waiting for him. He'll pay no attention to me as long as the little red circle around me is outside of where I last shouted. Number appears above, number 1, and he's being crushed. Little thinks he's the big man, comes straight in for it. Here's the dramatic music and you can just swipe at him. And I believe that's number 2.